Everyone, welcome back to the third part of our token staking DApp project. In the last two parts, we have done the entire setup and built the entire smart. We have coded in the last two videos. So this is the library we have built, and here we have the staking contract, and here we have the ICO contract. So first we're going to deploy our staking contract. After that, we're going to deploy our token ICO contract. So let's start with the staking contract. So for that deployment and testing, we're going to use Remix ID. So all you have to do is to simply select the entire code and open up your browser. Click. I already have this Remix ID set up in my browser, so make sure to open the Remix ID, and you have to use this particular Remix ID. There are multiple fake Remix ID we have, but you have to use this particular domain. So I have opened my Remix ID. Now what I can do is I can simply come back here in the contract section, and there you will find that I have a couple of files and folders. So what I will do, I'll show you from scratch. So I'm going to simply delete this and delete this file as well, and delete this token ICO as well. So now there is empty in my contract, and I'm going to create a new file for the staking. So I'll say staking dapp.sol. So this is the file I have created, and here I have to paste the entire code which I have copied. So let's paste this out, and we have to say okay. And you can see I'm getting this particular compiler error. Maybe I have done some error, so I have to find it out. So you can able to find all the error which you have done. So this error is coming because of this comma I have provided. So it's in the line number 587. And the reason why our compiler failed to pick this, because maybe the compiler I'm using, it's not working properly. So I have to do the setups and see the configuration file. So anyway, we can come back to the Remix ID, and we can just simply fix this very quickly. So we have to go to 587. So let's come back here in the 587, right up there. So I have to simply remove this extra comma I have provided. That's why I'm getting this warning. And again, I'm getting another warning. It's from here, getting this particular error right here in the line, and it's a unt variable. Okay, my bad, it's a spelling mistake. We have 256. Make sure to fix this one. Now what else I'm getting, it's in the line number 683, and it's related to something return. So I can simply come back here and go back to 683, and here I have to call it public. So it's a public, and this will fix the issue. Now we have to go back to the 700, and here I have the same problem. So the problem we are having here in the address, so the address spelling is incorrect. So let me correct the spelling. Now we can come back to the pending reward section. So it's in the line number 600. It's a internal function, and I can see the problem. So I have to remove this extra space, and this might fix the issue. So every single thing is looking good. We have compiled our contract successfully, and now we are ready to deploy our contract and do the testing. So we can come back here in the file section, and Remix ID will automatically compile your contract, and it will give you the ABI of the contract. So if you come back here, this is the ABI which we're going to utilize it. So I'm not going to copy right now. Once I will deploy, then I'm going to copy the ABI, and that's what we have to provide in our code. So let's close this one. Now we can come back to the deploy section, and here we have the option. So if I click here, you will see we have multiple options to deploy, but we're going to use on the text network. So we're going to select MetaMask injector provider. Now before we start connecting, we have to do the network configuration in our MetaMask. So I believe that you guys will not have this particular Ethereum test network which I am configured in the application. You can see this is the network where we're going to deploy our contract. So let me connect. So you can see I have connected, and I already have this much fund in this particular account, and this is the account I'm going to use for deployment. So if I come back to the network connection, you can simply click on this add network, and it will take you to this particular page, and here you will find all the network which you can simply add one by one, because MetaMask provide you few default accounts. So you can add those accounts, or if you want, you can add this one as well. So you can come back to the network section, and there you will find that this is the network configuration you have to do for this particular test network. You have to provide the name. This is the RPC URL, exact RPC URL you have to provide, which you can simply get it. Come back here in this particular website, and here you will find all the RPC URL for different blockchain. That's all you will find here. So if you want to go with the Ethereum, the one which we are using, click here. You can come back to the testnet, and here we have this RPC URL. You can simply copy that one, and that's what you can provide here. And here you have to provide the chain ID, Ether, and this is the block explorer for Etherscan. So you can simply come back here in the Etherscan, and you can click here, go to the test network, and you can simply copy this explorer, and that's what you can provide here. So that's how you can do the manual configuration. If you want to go with the automatic configuration, you can do that very easily. So you can simply come here, and here you will find a button. You can simply click here, and this network will be added in your MetaMask. But the RPC URL will be different. So make sure you should always get the RPC URL from this particular site, because it's quite good, and it's all the transaction which you will do through this RPC URL will have quickly. That's what I have noticed. So first, what I would suggest you that when you will install MetaMask already provide you some default network. So if you are deploying your contract to those default network, then you can use the information they want you to add. So if I go with the Sofali, it will automatically is there in the default. So instead of taking this RPC from here, I will use this one, because this is the same RPC URL will be available in all the other user MetaMask extension as well. So when you don't have this default network in MetaMask, then you can do the manual configuration and you can get the RPC URL from here, but always try to get the RPC URL from the MetaMask, which looks good. So this is the configuration you have to do. Once you're done with that, everything's good. So make sure to save it. And now I can come back to our Remix ID, and if I show you that we have already this much fund. In your case, you might don't have this fund, so you have to copy your address, open a new tab, and we have to go to Google Faucet. So we'll say Google Cloud Faucet. Google have started their Web3 tools, so we can utilize that to get a couple of free faucet which you can utilize to deploy our contract. So you can see we are on the faucet section. We can click here and it will give you two different network. The first one is and the second one is. So we will go with the first one because that's what we have configured, and we're going to simply paste our wallet address and click on this receive, and it's going to transfer this faucet to your wallet address. So if you click on your wallet address, you will receive the fund once the transaction will complete successfully. So just wait, it will take 30 seconds and you will have your fund in your wallet address, and that would be enough for you to deploy and do all the transaction. And the best part of this particular network is that all the transaction which you will do, it will going to cost very less gas amount. So you can use this 1 Ether for a very long time for testing multiple contract and deploying and doing all the transaction, because the transaction cost is very less. You can see we have done with the transaction. If I open my MetaMask one more time, the fund will be go up. So it's taking a little bit time. If I click here, if I go to the Explorer, I can see the transaction went through successfully. I got 1 ETH, but let's me open my MetaMask and you can see it went up to 4. So we have successfully received the fund, and this is the account we're going to use for deploying our contract. So let me close this one. Now we can come back to the Remix ID. So we have our fund ready, and now we are ready to deploy our contract. So first we're going to select this injected provider. So it's better to reload the page one more time because we have been not using the Remix ID for a while. So we have to reload the page, and let's start from one more time. So click on this. Here, this is our contract. It's compiling. It's got compiled successfully. Now we can simply click here and we can simply go to this injected provider, and here it's going to connect with our wallet automatically. So the fund will be reflect and the wallet address will reflect. Once you have done with the setup, now we can simply come back here, click on this, and this is the contract we have to deploy. So click on that. So we have selected the contract. Now we have to simply click on this deploy, and it's going to deploy our contract to the test network. So we have to confirm the transaction. So click on confirm, and once the transaction will complete, it's going to give you the interface right up here, which you can simply use it to test your contract and interact with your contract with all the functionality. So you can see our contract got deployed successfully. If I click here, if I go to the block explorer, you will find that transaction got successfully. It's still pending, but our transaction is complete. If I come back here, you will see this is the address of our contract. So if I open this, you will find we have all of this function: add pool, claim reward, deposit, modify, renounce over, sweep, transform, withdraw, deposit, get notification. So we have all of this function which we can utilize and pass the data in it, and we can simply interact with our contract. So we can utilize this portion to interact. Now if we come back to the transaction history, you can see the transaction is completed successfully. Now what I can do is I want to verify this contract, because this is very important. When you are building any kind of DeFi project, you have to verify your contract so other can know that what exactly there in the contract, and you will build more trust. So first thing we have to do is to simply copy. Let's open this one, copy the address of the contract which we have deployed. Now you can come back to the Explorer. Make sure you have to be on the same block explorer where you have deployed your contract. Here you have to paste your contract address, and it's going to reload it. Just wait, and it's going to open our contract, and here you can see the contract we have deployed 1 minute ago, and there is no transaction is available. If you look at the contract, our contract is not verified. So let's verify our contract first. Then we're going to do the testing of all the function. So let's click on this verify, and it will take you here. The address is here. We have to select the file type. So we have used the single file, that's what you have to select, and from here we have to select the compiler version. So we have used the latest compiler version. So if you come back here in the remix ID, go back to the compiler version, we have the latest one, and that's what we have to pick. Make sure the compiler version you are using for compiling your contract, you should always use the latest version, and that's what you have to provide. So I'll go with this one because that's what I have used. I can simply come here, this is the compiler version, and from here you have to select the license identifier. So I have used MIT. If you go back to the code, you will see that we have used MIT. That's what the license identifier we have used. So once you provide all of these details, simply click on this continue, and it's going to simply verify your transaction. So here we have to paste the entire smart contract. So we can simply come back here, select our entire contract, and that's what we can paste here. Let's paste the contract and come down here, and we have to simply click on verify and publish. Once you do that, our contract will be verified and we'll have the function enable right up here, and we can able to interact with the smart contract right here in the block explorer. So you can see our contract got verified. You can simply click here and it will take you to the contract section, and there you will find all the contract we have coded and deployed on the chain. Here we have the ABI of our contract. That's all you will find here, and you will also get this functions like read data and write data. So if you click on this read data, here you will find all the function we have for reading the data. So you can simply connect your wallet first, and I'm connected. So you can pick any wallet provider, but I have installed MetaMask, so that's what I will select, and I'm connected. And from here you can able to simply read all of this data. So if you want to deposit a token, that's what we have here. So this is for read. You can click here and you can paste the address and you will get the information. This one is for the get notification. So if you click here right now, you will see there is an empty notification we have. There is no data available. If you go back to the notification, here I have to provide the index value and I will get the data. So if I paste this and hit enter, you will see there is no data available. If I come back to the owner, you can see this is the account we have used for deploying our contract. If you come back to the pending, we have to provide this information like pool ID and user information. If you come back to the pool count, right now it's 0. If you come back to the pool information, there is no pool available. If you come back to the user information, there is no data is available. So we can literally interact with our contract right from here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test the contract from here as well as in the remix ID. Then we can move to the actual code. So let's close all of this open boxes. Now we can come back to the write contract, and here you will find all the write function like adding pool, claiming reward. That's all you will find. So this one is reading and this one is writing. So let's connect our wallet first, and let's click on this MetaMask, and I'm connected. Now I'm going to create a new pool. Okay, I'm going to create a new pool using this particular function we have. So for that I need to get the address of a token. So I'll come back here, and this is the token I have. So I'll simply get the address of this particular token. I can come back here in the block explorer, and this is the address. I got it. Now I can come back here. I'll simply come and paste the staking token. I have to paste the reward token. I'm going to use the same one, and here I have to provide the percentage. So I'll go with, let's say, 50%, and here I will go with the log day. So I will go with 1, means 1 day. But I have done the setup in the contract. If you come back here, you can see this is the setup we have done. This time the one we are providing is going to take 1 minute instead of 1 day. So when we're going to launch our application, at that time I'm going to enable this, but during the testing time I'm going to go with 1 minute. So let's come back here, and I have given 1, and I can click on this write. If I click on that, it's going to make a call, and you can see we are calling the function, and let's click on this confirm, and the transaction is in the pending state. Once the transaction will complete, you will see the data will reflect here. So just wait, and the transaction is completed successfully, and we have created the very first pool. If you want to read this data, you can simply come back in the remix ID, and you can go back to the deploy section. Here we have the interface. We can simply read the data about the pool we have created. So we can simply come down here, and here you will have this. So if you give 0 and click on this pool info, you will find that the pool we have created just now through our block explorer. You can literally create it from here. If you click on this pool count, we have 1 count we have created. If you come to the user information, in that you have to provide 2 details. You have to provide the address and the pool ID. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this one, the function we have in the remix ID, to create a pool. So let's paste the address, let's paste the reward address, let's paste the percentage is going to be 100, and here we have this logged is going to be, let's call it 2 minutes, and click on this transaction. It's going to open the MetaMask and we can simply add the pool. So every functionality is working absolutely fine. So let's confirm the transaction and open the MetaMask. You can see our pool is getting created. Once we complete the pool, after that we can able to simply stake and try to earn a couple of reward. And here the transaction is completed. You can come back here and you can simply give one, and you will see this is the second pool we have created with all the details. Now if you want to deposit, it will not work, because when it's come to depositing the token into a contract, first we have to approve the token to be deposited in the contract. So that's what we cannot test it out right now. We have to do it in our application in the front end, because we don't have the feature to approve our token. If I try to call it, it's going to fail the transaction. So let me show you. If I pick the pool 1 and I want to deposit, let's say 100 token, I already have this token. So if I click on this transaction, it's going to make a, and it will give me this particular error, gas estimations, that insufficient allowance. Means our function is working absolutely fine. It's checking the allowance and then trying to deposit it. So that looks wonderful. I hope you guys have noticed it, how we are testing our application, and we have done the deployment and all things are looking good to me. Now let's do one thing. Let's try to create a pool. So we can come back to the notification. Let's click on this get notification, and you will see that currently it's 0. There is no data is available. So our contract looks good. Our contract looks good and we have deployed it successfully. So what I will do is I'll simply select this entire contract one more time, select that entire contract, and that's what I have to update, because remember we have done a couple of fixing here. So I will select this one, remove and paste, and now it's good. So we have updated our staking contract. Now close this one. Now we can come back here, and what we can do is, looks good. Now we have to get our ABI. So click here, we have to go back to the artifacts. Inside the artifacts we have the ABI of our contract. So simply select this one and copy, come back in the code, and that's what we have to provide here in the context. So let's go back here and paste the ABI. So this is the entire ABI of our staking contract. So our staking contract is looking absolutely fine, and we have deployed the contract, created the pool, getting the informations, all of things are looking good. So that's the first contract, we have done it successfully. Now what I will do is I'll simply come back to the second contract, which is the token ICO. Click here. Now I will select this one more time, this entire code. Now I can simply close this one, close this open file, close this one, and now let's create a new file. So click here, create a new file called token ICO.sol, and here I have to paste the code. So click on the OK, and you can see this contract has no issue. We have successfully compiled the contract. Now we have to deploy the contract. So to deploy it, click here, and I'm going to simply minimize this one. I can come back here in the contract section. We have this 2 contract. Let's select this one and make sure you are connected with the injected provider and your wallet is reflecting here and the balance, and I'm using the same wallet. So I'll simply click on this deploy, and it's going to make a call to my smart contract, and I have to simply confirm the transaction, and it's going to open the MetaMask. I have already confirmed the transaction, and once the transaction will complete, you will find the interface of the token. Here you can see we got it. We can simply copy the address and we can simply verify our contract the way we have done. So let me do one thing. Let me simply copy this entire code and let's verify that. Let's copy this address and let's update that first. Come back to the environment variable, and here we have to update address. Got it? Now we can simply come back here in the block explorer. Then I can paste the address and hit enter. Our contract got deployed successfully. Let's quickly verify our contract, because it's very important that you have to verify your contract. So it's going to be single file. I have to pick the compiler version is the latest one, and here I have to select this MIT and click on continue. Now I will come back here. I have to select the entire code and simply come here. I have to paste the smart contract and simply confirm and publish. So here is going to publish my contract on Remix ID on Etherscan. So our contract is successfully published and it's here in our block explorer. So that's the first thing we have to do. Let's come back here. So we got the address of our token contract, token ICO contract. Now we can come back here. Let's get the code. This is the one we have deployed. Now we can come back here. Let's simply replace it. Looks good. now we can get the ABI of our contract. So to get that, we can simply click here and we can simply come back here. Here we have the token ICO. Simply select all of this and come back in the VS Code. Now here we have to go in context and we can simply paste the ABI. That looks good. So that's how you can deploy your contract, verify your contract, and do the testing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to redeploy the staking contract because we have already created a couple of pools. So because I want to start from scratch, so we can do all the testing right in our front-end application with the logic we're going to build. Okay, so let's try to redeploy the contract one more time. Let's do that very quickly. I'll simply close this one, close this one, close this one. I can come back to the staking. I'm going to simply select and paste, and let's deploy that. Come back here. I'm going to simply close all of this. Let's select the contract. Let's click on deploy and click on confirm. Once the transaction will complete, we'll have the address of our contract and we can simply verify. After that, we're going to simply import the address as well as the ABI. So simply copy this one. We got the address of our staking contract. Now close this one, close this one. Come back here in the environment variable, and here I have to provide the staking contract address. So we got the address of the two contract. Now we can come back here in the ABI. So we already have the ABI. So simply select here, copy, and let's paste here. Remove, save. So we got the ABI, we got the address of our contract. Looks good. Now let's quickly verify our. So let's verify our contract. So we can come back here, we can paste the address. Looks good. Now we can click on this contract. You can see it's already verified because we haven't made any changes and we previously deploy our contract. But this time if you try to read the data, there will be no pool available. So if I come back here, you can see this is the interface I have got, and if I try to read the data, there will be no data available. So if I give 0 and call it, there is no pool available. That's why you can see there is no data. So our contract is absolutely empty. Now we're going to use all of this function to create with our front end. So let's close this one, and let's come back to the code. So that looks good. This is the staking contract. We have tested successfully. We have the ICO contract. We have tested successfully. We got our address of the two token. So those are the two information we got it. Here you have to provide your account address which you have used. So I'll simply come back here, select, and this is the account I have used. So simply copy that one and you can come back here, and that's what you have to provide. So we got all of this information, and here you have to provide your reward token. I hope you guys have the reward token. So I'll simply get the reward token, which I'm using this one, and I can simply copy the address from here. So I'll simply come back to the block explorer, and from here I can copy it. And I already explained you 100 of time in all of this project that how you can create your own ERC20 token. So I'll simply paste the address of the deposit token and the reward token, because this is what exactly we follow in the industry. We allow user to deposit the exact token and get the reward exact token. In that way, your token will get popularity and it will have a good promotion and user will utilize it. So we got all of that. We got the address of the contract, token, and this is the logo of my blockchain coder. So if I copy that one and if I show you in the tab, this is the one logo which I have deployed to the IPFS, and I have already explained you in all of this project that how you can create and deploy the logo. So make sure to follow that, or you can deploy your logo to anywhere, and that's the URL you can provide. So we got the URL, and this is the network configuration we have done because I have deployed to the Ethereum test network. So this is the ETH currency, this is the chain ID, this is the name, this is the decimal, and this is the network name. And here we have the RPC URL. So this is what I have explained extensively. So if you come back to the block explorer, you will see this is the token. So you can simply copy this, and that's what you can simply paste here. You can see this is the token. That's what I have got. In the same way you can get for the address. So you can simply come back here, click on this, and it will give you this address. So you can simply copy, and that's what you can simply provide here, address. And here we have the RPC URL which I have got from this particular website. So you can simply come and you can get it from here, because by default this particular network is not available in MetaMask. But if it's available, then I will get this RPC URL and all of this information from the MetaMask instead of getting from here. So first you have to check MetaMask. If this information available in the network setup, then you can get it from there. Otherwise you can do the custom setup just like the way I have done for this network. And here you have to get your Formspree key. So let's get this one. Then we're going to start working in our context management. So to get that, let me close all of this tab because we have done with all of these setups. Looks good to me. And now we can simply close this as well. Come back here and type Formspree. This is a very good platform which allow you to send emails for absolutely free. So you can click on this sign in and it will take you into your account. So I have already created my account. Make sure to create your own account, and here you will find all the project which you have created. So that's all the project I have created, and that's what you will find. So you can see this is my key which I'm using, and this is the project which I have selected. So to create a new project, you can simply click on this add new, and here you have to select. So you want to create a new form or a new project. So I'll go with a new project, and you can give a name. So I'll say staking DApp. That's what I can select and click on this create project. The moment you will do that, it will create a project, and there you will find all the information about your account. That's what I have. Now I have to create the form, so I can click on this create, and here I have to give the name. So I'll say token staking DApp, and that's the name. And in this particular email, I will receive all the email which user will send. Okay, so make sure the email which you will use at the time of create account, that's the same email where you're going to receive all the email which user will send you. So let's click on this create form, and it's going to create a form for you, and you will have the API key. So here you will find all the method which you can use to configure. You will have HTML, Ajax, React, HTML, file form. That's all you will have, or even you will have this button, form button. So that's what you can use it. Now you can come back to the submission. There you will have all the details when the user will send you the email. That's all you will find here. You can go to the settings, and there you will find all the additional settings which you can do. You can redirect the user, but for that you have to simply upgrade, or you can add the captcha. And here we have a couple of plugins. So if you want to integrate this with the email service, email marketing provider, you can simply select that. You can select with the Discord, Stripe. That's all you can do it, but we have to simply receive the email. So once you will create that, this is the key which you need. Simply select this. Now you can come back in your code, and that's what you have to provide. So we got all this environment variable. We got our contract and the token ICO contract. We got our token contract addresses. This is the URL. This is the account which I have used for deploying my contract, and this is my network setup. So all this environment variable is done. Now we are ready to build our context management, because our Web3 functionality and the smart contract all is looking good. So let's close this one. Now close this one, close this one. And now we're going to start working on our context management. So first we'll start working on the constant. After that, we're going to work in the index. So let's start with constant in the next video, because this video is quite long. So let's move to the next video.